new type of video today. Now, I normally don't do these type of videos, but given the fact that it's the new season, I thought, you know what, why not? I did this last season, but I did change how I do play, as well as like some settings, as well as attachments. And I feel like my opinion kind of matters, at least on the console aspect and the controller aspect, as I have hit champion every season. One season that I missed champ. 1,400 likes. Help the series out, why not do it? It is free. If you guys are new to the channel, be sure to follow my socials. It should be popping up for you, as well as hitting that subscribe button. We're almost at 100K, you feel me? That'd be pretty dope. Again, this is different type of content. I usually don't do these type of videos, and I usually just try to avoid it, but at the same time, it's like, I don't really see anyone else doing too much of this, and I thought, you know what, if this could help at least one person, I could live happy. So, we're gonna get right into it. And unlike last season, I'm gonna be in the new shooting range, and I can show you exactly what I use and how it looks like. So let's get right into it.
I've been walking around with 0 bitches. I don't got no misses, bitches tell me my own business. Had to switch it up, don't give no fucks about your mistress.
Alright, now the way I figured is I'm gonna be working on attackers first, and then I'm gonna slowly work to defenders. I will not showcase same weapons, same time. For example, Sledge has the L8. So does Thatcher. I'm only going to show different weapons on each gun. I will not say shotguns because, well, shotguns are pretty much the same. Like, you don't really need to do anything. So I'm going to keep it exclusive to ARs and DMRs and SMGs. Pistols, not really. Again, I will say this. Pistols, you run muzzle brake. But we're going to start off with Sledge. Sledge, I like the 2.5 scope. I like the flash hider. I usually like running the flash hider over compensator, especially for automatic weapons. And I keep vertical grip because, well, it's the only grip you can use. Pistol, like I said, muzzle brake. Pretty simple. Nothing really too much going into this. Now, this is the shooting range. If you guys are not familiar with it, it's because it was just added this season. So I recommend, if you are a new player, to honestly test this out. And to be honest, I kind of been messing around with it because it's kind of dope. You have different targets. You could do a person. You could do, well, just a regular target. You could do different ranges. For example, this is too close. I don't know why you would do this. I think 10 meters is fine. 20 meters is all right. 30 is, I don't know why you're taking this gun fight. But we're gonna keep with 10 millimeters. Jesus, 10 meters. God, I'm so slow. Want to clear? It's pretty simple. Again, this is gonna be flash hider, vertical grip in 2.5 times. I'd say it's pretty accurate, you know. It's not really much going on. It's the L8. L8 doesn't really have much going on, to be honest. It's got like no recoil. If you use muzzle brake, it would shoot up a lot more because it is an automatic weapon, and muzzle brake, I believe, is the first shot. So AR is pretty self-centered, at least the L8 with the flash hider. Moving on to Thatcher, we have the AR-33. Almost like the same thing. I use 2.5 scope, flash hider, I believe. Nope, I actually use compensator. Excuse me. And vertical grip. I am just going to make this statement right now. Angle grip is so pointless now. It used to be quick ADS. They kind of nerfed it. It's kind of crap now. I'm not going to lie to you. I never use laser because, to be honest, this gets you killed. Yep, that's pretty much what it looks like. Pretty simple. I don't know why I don't use this gun. Well, to be clear, Thatcher's kind of banned 24/7. Second off, we're moving on to Ash, G36C. I use 1.5 scope, I recommend it. I use flash hider and vertical grip. This thing is a laser beam. I'm barely holding down with this gun. This is just perfect. Ah, beautiful. Moving on to the R4C. I use red dot C, flash hider, and vertical grip. I do sometimes swap between compensator and flash hider. I use compensator when my aim is actually on point. I use flash hider when I feel like a complete bot. But I recommend flash hider 24/7. Again, not too much going on here. There's a little bit of kick, but it's the R4C. And I'll show you both barrels. Here we got compensator. Boop. As you can see, oh god, dude, yeah, this thing. Yeah, I have to be warmed up for this one. Moving on to Thermite. Very simple. Flash hider, 2.5 scope, and a vertical grip. This is kind of what it looks like. Again, Thermite's AR has like no recoil. At least no vertical. It's got a little horizontal, but it's relatively clean. Moving on, we have Twitch F2. Love this gun. Now, this is going to be a very unpopular opinion. I prefer Hollow D, which nobody likes this sight. Or honestly, either Hollow D or Red Dot C. I hate the 1.5 scope for this gun. I think it's just unnecessary. It adds a little bit of recoil because you're more zoomed in. I use flash hider. Do not use any other. Do not use compensator or muzzle brake or suppressor. This gun has enough recoil as is. If you use that sight, or sorry, any of those other barrels, you are just going to be regretting it. And obviously vertical grip, as this does not have angle grip. And if it did have angle grip, I don't know why you would use it. F2 is pretty self-explanatory. Pretty simple. I mean, flash hider, not a lot of recoil. I'm not going to go over Monty because that's a pistol. I will go over Glaz because why not? Muzzle brake for DMRs, highly recommend. Sight is preference. I prefer red dot C. I'll show you guys why in a second. I think it looks amazing. It's like so small. Muzzle brake pretty simple. It's pretty, obviously it's a DMR. There's not going to be a lot of horizontal kick. It's just going to be vertical and it's relatively easy to control. Alright, moving on to Fuse. Fuse LMG, 1.5 scope. Please don't use 2.5. That's too zoomed in. You don't need to see nose hairs. And flash hider. Pretty simple. This gun is the Destroyer Siege. Obviously, the longer you hold it, the more horizontal recoil it has, but it doesn't really have vertical recoil. It's pretty clear. Moving on to the AK. Flash hider. 2x scope. Perfect. Mwah. Don't ever change this. Vertical grip. Obviously, I'm going to keep saying it until people realize, don't use angle grip. Especially on console. I don't get why people do it on console. PC, it really doesn't matter. This gun's got no recoil. This is the reason why this gun is considered probably one of the best weapons in the game. I mean, look at this. This thing, I'm barely trying. Not going to do Blitz because that's a pistol. We're going to move on to IQ. We have the AUG A2. I use 2.5 scope because it doesn't actually have a 1.5 or a 2x, which I find weird. I don't know why. I don't know. I don't really use this when I play IQ, but I'm obviously going to show you what I do play IQ with the AUG. I run flash hider, no laser. There's no point. It's a laser beam. Yes, this gun is honestly a laser beam, but I don't know why you would use this gun when guns like the Commando and the G8 exist. Now for the Commando, I do not like 1.5. I like the Reflex B, I like flash hider, and vertical grip. Again, never gonna use angle grip. Oh, forgot to clear this. Pretty simple. But again, I don't really use this gun as well as the G8 exists, and I also don't really play IQ. I don't think IQ is as viable as she used to be. But for, oh my god. But for this, I use vertical grip, reflex, I said reflex, red dot C, and flash hider. Nothing else. There's nothing you need to change about this. Again, sight is preference. And I'm barely touching my right stick. Look at this. All right, moving on to Buck, C8. 1.5 scope should always have the 1.5 on this gun, as it doesn't even have recoil to begin with, and flash hider. Pretty simple. A good amount of kick with this gun, but not really too much to control. But you do need to understand. You do need to practice with this gun. Moving on to the DMR, I like the muzzle brake. Again, you're gonna see a pattern. It's one of those situations where I don't really use the DMR, but if I randomly decide to, this is what it looks like. Pretty simple. It's nothing really going to it. It's just, I mean, what are you gonna do? Moving on to Blackbeard. Oh my god, I hate this character. 1.5 times, flash hider, and I run vertical grip. Pretty nice, pretty simple. Nothing else you need to learn about this character. Hey, look at this. This gun has got way too much horizontal recoil when you fully automatic this. Moving on to his DMR, just like the other gun, I have muzzle brake, 2.5 vertical, and I have a laser. But again, the DMR, there's really not much you need to learn about it. You just kind of slowly take your time with the DMR. Moving on to Capitao, we have the Para, I don't know how you pronounce it. I run 1.5, flash hider, vertical grip. This gun is beautiful. I love this gun. I honestly just wish Capitao's ability was a lot more viable. But, it's so good. On to his LMG. 2.5 because I'm a maniac, flash hider, and vertical grip. What is this weapon skin? I don't know, but it looks kind of cool. I'm not gonna lie to you. Just like all the other LMGs, this thing gets the longer you shoot it, the more horizontal recoil it has. Vertical is honestly not that existent, just kind of simple. Like it's not really hard to control this gun. On to Habana. I run Hollow D. You might hate me for using this. I use compensator and I use vertical grip. Habana's gun is relatively a beam. If you use just a one-time scope, it's like there's no recoil. For example, I'll show this gun with the 2.5 scope. There's a lot more of a kick, and that's because you're more zoomed in. So it's bound to be more of a kick. And it just kind of shows. I'm kind of working too hard when using this. like no point. I don't know why you would use this. I will show her bearing 9. I use Flash Hider and I use Reflex B. Now they did change how the bearing 9 shoots this season. It's actually not as bad as it used to be. Still a lot of kick. I don't like using this gun. It's like one of those weapons you use close range. For example, you'd probably be in this range when shooting somebody. It's the only time you would take this weapon out. Onto Jackal. Very simple. 2x scope, Flash Hider, vertical grip. This gun is a cheat code. This is like the most low effort weapon in Siege in my opinion. I don't think you need to try with this gun. Like, look at this! One of my favorite weapons, the PDW. Ah, love this gun. Flash Hider, vertical grip, it's almost a 2.5, 1.5 scope. Imagine if this gun had a 2.5. I think it used to. It actually used to, I believe. This thing is not really a laser beam, but for the amount of bullets it has, it's pretty good. You're honestly most likely just not gonna miss when using Flash Hider. Actually, what does it look like with Compensator? But to be honest, I don't know what it looks like with Compensator, so I'm gonna try that out real quick. Oh! Okay, I'm not gonna, hey, screw what I said. Compensator is actually a lot better with this gun. Moving on to Ying, I run Compensator, 1.5, and vertical grip. Again, I recommend not using anything above 1.5 when using this character. Usually when you're playing Ying, you're throwing the damn flashes. I don't think I swapped characters. No, I did not. I'm intelligent. Usually when you're playing Ying, you're throwing your ability, you're running at them. If you're too zoomed in, you're gonna end up missing or just missing unnecessary shots. So 1.5 is pretty perfect. It's little zoomed in, and at the same time, you don't have to see their nose hairs when aiming at their face. Going on to Zofia. Zofia LMG, this gun is literally just, oh my god, this gun is busted. Flash Hider, 2x, vertical. I sometimes, depending on my mood, if I'm being more aggressive, I run 1.5. I recommend 2x, because it's honestly just best for holding angles. And this has been my go-to weapon. Like, what is this? I'm honestly not even like really touching my right stick. Barely holding down. 200 bullets of pure laser beam. What is the point of this weapon? Who in Ubisoft decided to add this? Moving on to what people probably care about is Zofia AR. 2x scope, Flash Hider, and vertical grip. I don't really see a point in using this gun when the LMG exists. I don't know why you would use this, but I mean, look at this. This gun's got too much. Like, it got too much horizontal. I'll show you what the Compensator looks like. I kind of swap in between. I'm not really sure what I like on this, because I don't really use it. They kind of ruin this gun. Compensator is a lot more vertical recoil, but less horizontal, so I guess depending on how you're feeling. If you're able to control it, this is kind of what it looks like, a Compensator. Onto Dokkaebi. We have the 3x scope because I'm extra and I like seeing, it's just kind of funny. Muzzle brake because DMR and vertical grip. Pretty simple, nothing really too, it's just a DMR. I don't know what anyone really expects with this gun. We're gonna use the SMG-12. I have vertical, I have hollow. Again, sights are preference, especially when they're 1x only options. That just all comes down to preference. They gave Dokkaebi back the C75. That is weird. They took away that gun for so long ago. This is the SMG-12. This gun's relatively hard to control, but I mean, you can't really run any barrels. This is what it looks like with vertical grip. I'll show you guys what it looks like with angle grip. It's oh my god, I don't know why you would run angle grip. If you use angle grip, you're a sociopath. This is honestly me trying to. What is this gun, dude? Onto Lion. One of my favorite weapons of the game, underused because I don't like the operator as much. 2x scope, perfect, Flash Hider, vertical grip. This gun has a very high magazine and no recoil. DMR I already showed. Muzzle brake, 2.5 scope. Doesn't really. Actually, did I? I don't know if I did. I think I missed it. Just because I feel like I missed it. Oh, I know I didn't. It's just DMR. Nothing special about this gun. Onto Finka. I'm not gonna go over the LMG. We already went over this for Fuse. It's the same. For the spear, which I prefer more than the LMG, I would like the 2x scope. You should, in my opinion. It's there. It's an option. I don't know why you wouldn't use it. Again, it comes down to preference. My god, who needs an LMG when this gun exists? Okay, by the way, I'm not controlling it. I'm just kind of like spitballing. pretty good. It's got a little bit of a kick, but compared to the LMG, it's not that bad. Going on to Maverick, we're gonna go over his DMR, 2.5 times muzzle brake, and vertical grip. This gun, I do not recommend using. It's got 11 bullets in the magazine. This thing hits like a truck. It has like no kick, but bullets do count and matter in certain fights. 11 bullets puts you at such a disadvantage. So obviously recommend going for the M4, which I use. I do not use 1.5. I use Reflex B, compensator, and vertical grip. And this gun's pretty relatively good. As a hard breach operator that has grenades, I would say this is pretty fantastic. Moving on to Nomad, my main character. Love this character. Flash hider on the AK and 1.5. I do not recommend using 2.5 on this gun as it's too much recoil. Don't know why you would do it. Love this character. I prefer the ARX, but when I'm in a more aggressive mood, Nomad AK is pretty elite. ARX, 2 times flash hider. That's all you need. Nothing else. Don't. This is the one gun you just don't ever use anything else. On to my favorite character in the game, Gridlock. On the F90, I use 2 times flash hider, vertical grip, as it only has vertical grip. This gun is a literal cheat code. It feels like I'm Finka boosted back when the operator came out. It's just, oh my god, what is this? For the LMG, same thing, flash hider, except 2 times and vertical grip. It depends on your mood. If you want more bullets, use the LMG. This thing has like no recoil as well. It's relatively beam, but just like any other LMG, the more you shoot, the more horizontal recoil there is. Moving on to Knock, the FMG9. I always say J. I want to make sure I was not saying that wrong. 1.5. And actually, depending on how I'm playing, I usually use suppressor because this character is a sneak operator. And honestly, the suppressor doesn't really have it, and it doesn't really add any recoil. You honestly only use this to really sneak up on characters, and considering it's this character, it makes sense to use suppressor. I already went over the G8, no point. However, I did not go over the SMG11. Now, this is going to be a debate. I personally love flash hider on the SMG11. I don't think you should use anything else other than the flash hider. Maybe the compensator. I don't really see why you would not use the flash hider for the SMG11. It's kind of... This gun's a little complicated. First few shots are always like in the center, and it starts to go kind of buck wild. Flash hider is kind of, it keeps more centered. It's more centered with the flash hider. On to Callie, I'm just gonna go over her, whatever the hell this SMG is. Reflex C, flash hider. There's no point in going at her sniper rifle. It's a sniper rifle. There's nothing else really you could rock with it. I have used compensator on this, but it's not that different. This gun's kind of a little bit wild, but again, you usually use this weapon when you're in close range, because if you're not, you're using the sniper rifle most of the time, and it's completely zoomed in. On to Yana. We already went over these 2 weapons, so never mind, not on to Yana. Hit the wrong button, didn't mean to. Ace, we've been over every weapon. Zero, boom. Now this is going to be a different one. For Zero, I run 2 times, and yes, I run suppressor. Don't ask me why. I'm different. I'm built different. I don't know why I do it. I just like to do it. The thing doesn't really have any recoil. I know it's the damage output is different. I just like the suppressor on this gun, and I think it sounds cool. Realistically, I use this gun because it sounds cool, nothing more. I'm kind of a weirdo like that. I'm gonna include the MP7 for Zero because I use the 1.5 times for Zero MP7. Again, I don't know why you would use the MP7 when you have his S2000, I believe it's called. I don't know what it's, I forgot what the AR is called. Hold on. SC3000. I missed with that one. Already been over Flores' weapons. Already been over Osa's weapons. The new operator that has been introduced has a new weapon, which I love when they finally start doing this. Also recommend using Gone 6. The POF is hands down probably one of the more complicated weapons to use. This gun has so much horizontal, and the longer you shoot, the less horizontal it has. It makes no sense. I've been trying. I use flash hider. I'll show you what compensator. I think I personally like compensator, if I'm going correctly, because it's a lot less. It's a lot more vertical recoil, but a lot less horizontal. The horizontal you want to avoid with an AR to begin with, but it's kind of, this gun's kind of a loose cannon. I'm not gonna lie. is a cool weapon that they added in the game. Still trying to figure out what I like about it.
I've been walking around with 0 bitches. I don't got no misses, bitches tell me my business. Had to switch it up, don't give no fucks about your mistress.
Now, moving on to DMR, oh my god. Moving on to Defenders, ignore what I said, your boy's kind of slow. I'm not going to go over characters and weapons I've already been over. So, for example, Smoke I will not go over because he has the same weapons as I've already went over. I use the same exact setup, just on the defense side. However, I will go over the MP5K. I run 1.5 and I run Flash Hider. I love this weapon, but if he didn't have the SMG-11, I would use this gun in a heartbeat. Like, this gun is hands down one of my favorite weapons on defense. It's just a laser beam, not a lot of high damage, but Flash Hider, not really working for headshots. This is a headshot machine. I'm barely pulling down. Okay, that was Mute. New weapon, UMP45. Different for Castle, different for Pulse. Castle, please use the 1.5 scope. I use Flash Hider, I run Vertical Grip. This gun's always been a questionable one, but I love this gun with the 1.5 scope, especially with the Flash Hider. It's like this gun doesn't really have any horizontal recoil to begin with. A little bit, not really. Just for Pulse, I will say I use Red Dot B, same other attachments. Oh, apparently not. Don't know why that switched. Please go to Flash Hider. That's what I use. For Doc, for the MP5, I run 1.5 because I don't know why you wouldn't, and Flash Hider Vertical Grip. Again, just like all the other weapons, this is like the MP5K. This is a laser beam. Alright, P90. You have the option of the 1.5. I don't use it because this gun has a little bit of a kick to it, so I recommend any one-time scope. I prefer, again, preference, Reflex B. So I always run Reflex B. And I run Flash Hider. And this is what this gun looks like. This is also the new skin in the Battle Pass. If you guys haven't copped, I recommend getting it. It's kind of weird, but this is what it looks like with a one-time scope. There's like no recoil. I'll show you guys quickly with the 1.5. It is a little bit different. Honestly, you might not see a visual work, but you can kind of see it kicks up a little bit. And that's because you just see it more close. This is just unnecessary. Now, same weapons they have, obviously, but the difference is Rook has a 2-time scope, so I use a 2-time scope. And I hit B again because I'm slow. Gonna go on a Capkin. For his SMG, I run 1.5 Flash Hider Vertical Grip. I don't know why I don't know why I shot downwards, but the gun doesn't really have any kick to it. It's just low effort. Gonna move on to T'Chaka King. Again, I'm not gonna show this weapon. This is all preference. I like the Reflex D just because it's only on this weapon, so that's why I use it. If I'm not using this, I do use Red Dot C. It's just what I do. I don't know. For Jaeger, for the 416, unpopular opinion, I use Hollow D. I use obviously Flash Hider and Vertical Grip. Again, sight is preference. I just like the Hollow D. I think it looks really good. This is low effort recoil control, and I love it. Same thing we already went over with Zero. Bandit, I just use again, it's the only thing that's difference between Zero and Bandit's MP7 is the scope. Bandit doesn't have 1.5, which no matter what, I don't feel like you should run. So, I mean, yeah, I'm not even like, I don't. Frost. This gun's gonna. I don't get. There's nothing you can really do. This gun is the only gun I think I use angle grip because it doesn't have the option for vertical grip. Sight is preference. Red Dot C. And I run extended barrel because I don't know why you would run a suppressor. Like, you want maximum damage. I don't see the reason for not using this. This gun is probably the most low maintenance weapon in terms of recoil. Moving on to the MPX, I run Hollow D. Flash Hider, Vertical Grip, Laser Beam, that's it. Boop, Laser Beam, nothing else to it. Moving on to Caveira, M12, Red Dot C. I actually don't know why I Flash Hider. I like Suppressor on Caveira. Sneaky character needs a sneaky weapon. This gun has no recoil to begin with. When you run Suppressor, it doesn't really change anything about it. It just lowers the damage. My voice cracked because I'm a growing boy. And it's just suppressor. Lower damage, but when you're shooting somebody, they probably won't have a damn clue where you're shooting from. For Echo, Vertical Grip, 1.5. You have no option of any other barrel. It is a built-in suppressor. And yeah, there's nothing else you can really control about it. For the Vector, I run Red Dot B, compensator, and vertical grip. I don't like flash hider on this gun. I don't actually like the vector to begin with, but I've noticed the compensator with the vector is relatively self-centered. You have to, again, with this weapon is a lot more recoil. You are going to actually put a lot of effort into trying to prevent it. You work hard when using this weapon. Alright, on to Legion, the T5, one of my favorite weapons in the game. Flash hider and red dot B. Again, one of the weapons that has like no effort into recoil. It is an SMG. It's just, yep. Boop. That's it. Nothing else to it. Flash hider equals laser beam. Ella, oh my god, this gun's my curse. I use compensator, whatever this hollow B, and vertical grip. This gun is the bane of my existence. I suck with this gun, but this is what I use. It is atrocious. I don't know how anyone, exclusively Poppy, uses this damn gun. Oh my god. Onto the Vigil, the K1A. I run compensator, hollow D, and vertical grip. Another one of the weapons that has like no recoil, low effort. Compensator is actually, in my opinion, better than flash hider for this weapon. I don't know why, I just prefer it. Onto Maestro, we have flash hider, vertical grip, and hollow A. This gun used to have the 2.5 scope. It was ridiculous. I don't know why they decided upon it. This thing is a laser beam. Again, like any other LMG, I keep saying this in the video so you guys understand, the longer you hold the trigger down, the more left to right horizontal recoil there's going to exist. Now, for the AC S12, I don't know what, I just run vertical grip 2 times and a laser because this gun's a meme. I don't know why you would use this. I'm not going to show it, it's like a DMR. Onto the MX4 Storm. This gun, another gun of my bane of existence. I don't know why I actually have flash hider. I prefer compensator. Again, was not using my account when I switched this. It's just, oh my god, it's just like, why does this exist? But I think compensator is more self-centered because this gun does have a good amount of horizontal kick to it. Onto Cade, the AUG A3. I run 1.5 scope, flash hider, vertical grip. This thing is just like almost any other SMG on this list, laser beam. Flash hider with SMGs, pretty good. And just for people who actually care, the stupid shotgun. Don't use suppressor. I use 2 times in vertical grip. Not gonna show it. It's a semi-automatic slug shotgun. No point. Alright, onto the Mozzie Commando. I run flash hider, whatever this hollow B. I always forget the name of that one. And vertical grip. Unpopular opinion, I prefer the Commando over the damn Roni. Now, before the Roni, 1.5 extended barrel. This is probably one of the only weapons I use extended barrel on. The reason why is because the Roni has no recoil to begin with. You might as well get the damage output because the magazine size is atrocious and the body shots are atrocious in terms of damage. And I run vertical grip. No point in running angle grip. They nerfed it. There's just, I don't know why you would use it. As you can see, yep, see, low spray. So it's just 16 bullets. You run extended barrel, you just get more damage output the longer distance it is. And to be honest, I'm gonna use an example of this. You couldn't really, this gun's a beam. You don't really see, you don't really need anything else. It's like, this is a low effort weapon. Onto Warden, I'm not really gonna say anything. Just run the 1.5. I've already went over my attachments. Where you've already been over the Vector, you've already been over the AUG, the MP5K. Oryx, we've already been over the T5, but again, just like Warden, it's an option. Use the 1.5. I don't know why you wouldn't. We've already been over Malusi, but again, the difference is this doesn't have a 1.5 over 2 times, so I like the red dot C. Aruni, DMR, difference between Dokubi and Aruni. Aruni is max sight is a 1.5. Recommend highly. Same like with any other DMR, muzzle brake and vertical grip. With the Roni, I run red dot C. I always run extended barrel because why not? And the reason why I run red reflex C on the Roni is because unlike Mozzie, she does not have access to the 1.5 scope. If she did, this character would be played more than any other character. On the Thunderbird, same weapon as Finka, only difference is no access to a 2-time scope, so I use hollow B. Everything else is the same, everything else is neutral. Now onto a new weapon, the UZK, or the Uzi. It's an Uzi, so I don't know why anyone else would say anything else about it. Flash hider, vertical grip, hollow B. Boom. That's it. Don't ever switch it. Depends on how you're feeling. I do sometimes go to compensator. There's really no point because low effort flash hider. You know, like, why would you switch this? It's a beam. And we've already been over a zombie, or the SMG. It's the same weapon as before. Yeah, I mean, that's pretty much what I run on every operator.
I've been walking around with 0 bitches. I don't got no misses, bitches tell me my business. Had to switch it up, don't get no fucks about your mistress.
If you guys are honestly curious about my settings, I've done settings videos. I've never switched it really. It's been the same. I'll just kind of include it at the end. If you're curious about my settings, I run 19 vertical, 42 horizontal, 10-10 dead zones. Don't ask me why, I'm a freak. In ADS advanced, it goes up by 2 every calibration or magnification. Don't know why I said calibration. And standard is just 32. Pretty simple ADS. I'm relatively a slow ADS player. I play claw. I run default controller. I do not use paddles. Field of view, best field of view, 75. Perfect. Don't switch it. Again, field of view does kind of come into play on preference and your eyesight. I have bad eyesight. I've tried 90 for so long. It was good when it first came out. Then I realized it was too much, so I went to 75 because 60 is too zoomed in. I don't know how anyone plays that. I run hi-fi, my master volume is 60. Only reason why it's 60 for me is for recording purposes. Nothing else. If you're a Siege and you're actually like just playing Siege competitively or just in a rank, just have it 100 or 90. There's no reason why you should be like me. And my color preference is obviously turquoise, as you guys saw in the examples. If you guys are curious about what my HUD looks like, this is what it normally looks like. I have it on normal default settings. I don't actually switch anything except one thing I do swap is, where is it? If I could find it, is my score update. And the only reason why I do that is because I used to play competitive and just kind of gotten used to it. It's really, that's it. That's all I use it for. It helps you to put it on to track your kills. I recommend, honestly, there's no reason to have it off. You might as well just have it on. And that's pretty much what my settings look like. Again, this is a different video. This is only meant for people who are new and coming into Siege, or honestly are curious on how I play. As again, I've hit champion every season ever since it came out, since Ember Rise to Demon Veil. Have not hit it this season as it's a new season. I have not started my grind at all. 1,400 likes helps the series out. Why not do it? It is free. If you guys are new to the channel, I recommend hitting the subscribe button if you're interested. Again, not my normal content, so I'm not really doing this often. I usually just kind of do stupid shit because I'm an idiot. Other than that, hope you guys enjoyed. This is different. You know, for my normal viewers, this is strictly meant for people who are new to the game. And yeah. Don't use angle grip. You're an idiot if you do.
I'm about to say all the wire. You know I love a tiger. She got the buns I admire. I'm at the butt, I bet you call. I'm about to say all the wire. You know I love a tiger. I can go to her ass like a tiger. She like Poppy on fire. She like Poppy on fire.
You not to MLPOA. You got the gun, nigga. Me too. But you know what?